Hi everyone, it's me, Gabrielle here, and today I'm going to talk about this thing, and I talked about it before. So today is NXT Goes to Tuesday, and for many folks who watch NXT since 2010 YL, you will know if you can think back that far that NXT was on Tuesdays in the early days. Long before it was anything else. It was on Tuesdays when it was first on Sci-Fi. Then when Sci-Fi dropped it, it then went to WWE until WWE got their deal with Hulu, and it was still on Tuesdays up until it went to WWE again. Then they put it on Wednesdays, and then when USA goes on Wednesdays, but now going back to Tuesday. And the truth is, it has nothing to do with what's going on over in the Dynamite side. You see, the folks on the Dynamite side are going to believe that you're going to Tuesday because we beat you up for 3 years. No, the truth is that the National Hockey League or the the NHL got their Wednesday deal with USA, which took them about a year and a half to get. Now, a lot of folks are going to say, "Oh, but NXT is the most liked show." A lot of folks might like NXT. It's true, I like NXT, but at the end of the day, it doesn't shift that NXT is full of wrestlers that are learning how to wrestle. Wrestlers who haven't really been big names yet. So it was unfair for Dynamite to be fighting NXT and then believing that it was a bigger show. Bullshit. If Dynamite was bold enough, which the folks at AEW are not bold enough, they would fight Raw or SmackDown, which that's why Dynamite was made in the first stead, to fight Raw and SmackDown. But then they learned that they couldn't fight Raw on Monday because let's say the NFL has Monday Night Football game, and let's just say the Jacksonville Jaguars happen to be playing that game, and Shao Kahn didn't want two offshoots to harm each other. He didn't want his football team offshoot taking away from his wrestling offshoot, and his wrestling offshoot taken away from his football team offshoot, whatever. So they couldn't fight Raw. Well, they couldn't fight SmackDown for whatever grounds, sake or why. They just couldn't fight SmackDown. So they want to go on Tuesdays, but they didn't like Tuesdays. They want to go on Thursdays, but fuck, they didn't want Thursdays. So they got Wednesdays. And they said, "Hey, we can beat up NXT. It's a smaller show than Raw or SmackDown." And after we beating it up for about 1 or 2 or 3 years, then we can say that our show was greater. Bullshit. You see, Dynamite is not a greater show. Not after the bullshit it's done. As I told you, Dynamite was made to fight Raw or SmackDown. And since Dynamite isn't beating Raw or SmackDown, it doesn't count. I don't see it as a win. Alright? You have IW, who had Impact. And Impact was made to fight Raw and SmackDown. But when Impact went head to head with Raw, the watch time wasn't good. The boostering and showing time wasn't good. So ever since then, IW has made Impact run away from Raw, run away from SmackDown, and run away from NXT. Even though, keep in mind, Impact was made to fight Raw or SmackDown, but it never does. So a lot of IW and AEW followers, not many of them, not all of them, but many of them, believe that Impact and Dynamite, and they believe that IW and AEW are beating WWE. Well, I don't really see Impact and Dynamite outdoing Raw or SmackDown. And beating up NXT, a weaker, smaller show, which is for wrestling learning and crafting, doesn't make you look like you're a winning side. So, it is what it is. That's just my belief, that's my thought. I know a lot of folks are going to say, oh, well, back in the day, WCW. Yeah, well, first off, keep in mind that if they would have put Nitro, if they would have had Nitro fight, I don't know, would say Wrestling Challenge at the time, or by it was dead by that time, I don't know, or Action Zone or something, and then said, look, we're beating up Wrestling Dare, we're beating up the Workstead. Ha ha ha. But at least they were a little smart by putting Nitro with Raw. You know? And it was kind of smart when you had SmackDown fight Thunder. But both shows were big enough, both shows had enough big stars that it was a fair fight in a way. See, but the unlikenesses between WCW and IW and AEW is that their big shows aren't fighting WWE's big shows. They're taking their big shows, Impact and Dynamite, putting it up and having it beat up NXT, and then saying, "Oh, look, we're more greater than you." But I take that back, because Impact, they get Impact away from every WWE show there is. That's why Impact goes from Tuesdays to Wednesdays to Thursdays to Fridays to Tuesdays to Wednesdays to Thursdays to Fridays and Wednesday, to Tuesdays to Wednesdays to Thursdays again. Not that they don't think. It's not that Imperium doesn't think the folk work's doing well. They just don't want to deal with WWE anymore. They got beat up by WWE for about soon to be 9 between years, and they don't want nothing to do with it. But AEW, they've been getting beat up for a whole year. So the only thing they could do to kind of get back at getting beat up was, fuck you. If you want Raw or SmackDown to beat us up, we're going to beat up NXT like a bully who is weak but picks on someone else who's more weaker to make themselves look stronger. Well, at the end of the day, I never really believed in the Wednesday Night War, everybody called it. NXT Fight Dynamite. The bullshit Wednesday Night War that was crafted and made in the minds of some AEW followers and some folks in AEW too. I'm happy that NXT is back on Wednesdays where it can have its own day, to have its own watch time, and not have to deal with getting beat up by a bigger show that was made to fight Raw or SmackDown, but out of handicaps and weakness and being weak, decided to beat them up for 3 years. Now you can stand or you can stand or not stand with me. That's your own business, but that's my thought and belief. All right. So that's it. If you like this film, then all means, sour clear in my throat. Follow me. Watch the film I made yesterday over here, or follow me here at Xena Pappas. I'm Gabrielle Cunnington, and I'll see you later.